Hey y'all, and welcome back, and welcome here to my kitchen. In today's video, we're just going to be hanging out in the kitchen, and we're going to be making up some desserts. We're going to make two desserts. I already have the ingredients out right here, but the first dessert we're going to make is called Apricot Bars, and it is something that I got from my mother-in-law, so I'm really excited to try and make that and do it some justice. My husband loves those, and I had them for the first time this last holiday season, and they're really, really good, so fingers crossed I do a good job. And the second recipe is something that I was asking my husband because I knew I wanted to do this theme, and so I asked him some different desserts that he would maybe want to try. And so we got on Pinterest and we found a strawberry white chocolate brownie, and the pictures look good, sounds amazing. So let's go ahead and get these ingredients going. I'm going to start out today with the apricot bars, and so I just got some of these dried apricots at Walmart. And what you're going to do is I just have me a little saucepan out. We're going to put 2/3 of a cup of dried apricots in here. So let me kind of get these out. So that's 1/3. Let me get out one more. Alright, so there's 2/3. And then the directions say that we want to cover these with water just above them. So you don't want to fill up this whole thing. Kind of break these apart so they'll lay down evenly. Alright, so I got that in. And it says you're just going to want to let these sit here and simmer for about 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, we're going to drain them, let them cool, and then we'll cut them off. Or cut them off. We'll cut them into small pieces. Oh, sorry, y'all. Alright, so I just have that on a medium high-ish heat. We're going to let that simmer, and then we'll be right back. While we sit there and let those apricots simmer, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the crust. And so what you're going to need for the crust is you're going to need 1/2 cup of butter. And I just have a stick of butter here, so I'm going to go ahead and dump that in. And I did go ahead and let that sit out to room temperature. Then you're going to take some sugar, and let's see. We need a 1/4 cup of white sugar. Alright, 1/4 cup. And then you're going to need some flour, and we need 1 cup of flour. My cup won't fit in there, so I'm going to have to do it like this. That's 1/4. That's 1/2. 3/4. And that makes 1. Alright, and that's all we need for this. So I'm going to go ahead and put my mixer down here. I'm going to lock it, and then we're just going to turn it on until it's all mixed and incorporated together. Alright, and then that's our crust. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out, and I'm going to bring over my 9x9 baking dish. I'm going to pour the crust into this 9x9 pan. And then we're just going to pat it out evenly along the bottom. And then after you get it patted down, you're going to put it in a 350-degree oven. And you're going to bake it for about 15 minutes. So I already have my oven preheated over there. So I'm just going to continue to pat this down until it's nice and compacted. Okay. So that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven for 15 minutes. It's been 10 minutes since having these apricots on the stove simmering. So I am going to go ahead and drain them and rinse them with some cold water. Now we're just gonna let these, I'm gonna sit them to the side and let them cool off completely. Once these are cooled, I'm just gonna put them on my cutting board. I'm just gonna dice them up into little pieces. And you can just cut them up as small as you want to. I would go pretty small, just because you want them to go evenly on top of the crust when we get there. So I would just cut it up as small as you can. Back over here to our mixer, we're going to start making that filling, the apricot filling. So you're going to take 1 cup of brown sugar and 2 large eggs, and we're going to put them right in here in the mixer. All right. And then we're just going to put this down and we're going to mix that until it's really well incorporated. Alright, after that mixes up well, you're going to take 1/3 cup of flour, put that right in there, and then we're going to take 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Then we're going to put it back down and we're going to mix again. Oops. Real life, y'all. Alright, I did forget that when you put in the flour and baking powder, you're also going to want to put in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Alright. Let that mix again. Alright, now we're going to add in 1/2 cup of these sweetened coconut flakes. I'm going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And our apricots. Alright. And then we're going to slowly mix that together until everything is well incorporated. I'm going to go ahead and scoot this a little out of the way because it is time to get our crust out. And you're not looking to cook this crust completely right now. You just want it to get slightly brown. And I'll go ahead and show you the edges. As you can see around the edges, they have started to brown a little bit. So this looks pretty much perfect. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to put that filling on top. Alright, so we're just going to take our apricot mixture, which smells amazing. And we're just going to put it in here. We're going to spread it out evenly. Want to make sure you get all that good stuff out. Don't want to leave any of that behind. Alright. And then I'm just going to kind of spread this out. And then once you get this spread out, you're going to want to put it back in the oven. Our oven is still preheated to 350 degrees. And you're going to bake this for about another 25 minutes. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this back in the oven. The timer just went off, so we're going to take these out of the oven. Oh, wow. Oh, these look so pretty. Ah, it's beautiful. I'm so excited. So now with the apricot bars, what we have to do is we have to let these cool completely. The recipe said for probably about 2 hours. So I'm just gonna sit them over there on the other side of the counter, let them cool, and then we'll be able to cut them up into bars and I'll let y'all see what they look like. The first step I'm gonna do with the brownies is I just have 2 1/4 cup worth of flour in this mixing bowl right here. And then I'm going to put in some baking powder, which is 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And then we're also gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm just going to take my whisk and we're just going to mix that all together. I'm doing this in this bowl first because in the mixing bowl we're going to have to mix together, let's see, what's it say? We're going to mix together the butter and the sugar in the mixing bowl until it's fluffy. And so I wanted to go ahead and have this incorporated before we did all that. Alright, so I'm just going to sit this over here to the side. Let me move all my stuff over here. Then I'm going to move y'all over here to the mixer. Alright. And now to the mixture, we're going to add our butter, which is 1 cup of room temperature butter. And I did let these sit out on the counter, so they are room temperature. And I'm using the sticks of butter, so it's going to be 2 sticks. Alright, and then we're going to do 3/4 cup of sugar. So I got my sugar here. 3/4 cup, okay. So I have 1, oops, 2, and 3. And then we're just going to put this down and we're going to mix it until it's nice and fluffy. Alright, so after we mix that and it gets fluffy, I'm just going to take a little scraper here and I'm going to scrape these sides down. Okay. And then we're going to take 1 egg at room temperature and we're going to crack that in here. I'm going to put this back down and we're going to mix it again. Now we're going to go ahead and add in these dry ingredients that we mixed together earlier. We're going to mix that together. I'm going to start out slow just so all that flour doesn't fly everywhere. So we're going to start out slow and then I'll gradually up the speed. Alright. I'm going to take my little scraper here and I'm going to get some of this out of the mixer part. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm about to take this off and I don't want to leave all of this mixture in there. Alright, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. I'm going to go sit it in the sink. And then now we're going to take 1/2 cup of white chocolate chips. And you're going to take about 1 cup of diced up strawberries. And we're just going to gently fold those strawberries and chocolate chips into this dough mixture. I'm going to go ahead and line my baking dish here with some parchment paper. And you know what? I saw a trick how to do this, make it even better. Let me see. Let's see if it works. If it don't work, then we'll just redo it. Alright, so I'm going to take a little bit of cooking spray. I'm just going to kind of spray the pan. And then I heard that if you then lay the parchment paper down, the cooking spray will help it stick to the pan and not come up whenever you're trying to pour everything in. So that does seem to be doing pretty good. That's awesome. All right, and so now we're just gonna take our strawberry brownie mixture. I'm just gonna pour it all in to the dish. All right, and then I'm going to kind of press it down into the pan. Now this is really thick. I don't know if it's supposed to be this thick. Just to be honest, I've never made this recipe before. I've actually never made homemade brownies before at all. So we're just going to see if this works out. I'm just going to try and spread it out as even as I can. Like I said, this is pretty thick. I checked the recipe when I was folding in the strawberry and chocolate chips just to see if maybe I was missing an ingredient, and I don't think I was. So we'll just see. It looks really, really pretty. I think it's going to turn out really pretty. And it smells really good. You can smell those fresh strawberries. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is, my oven is still preheated to 350 degrees from those apricot bars. And so it's ready to go. So we're going to put this in a 350 degree oven. And since I'm using a larger pan, this is about I think it's like around a 9 by 13. We're gonna cook these for about 35 minutes, maybe a little bit more. I'm just gonna keep a close eye on them and we'll see how they turn out. I want to thank y'all so much for hanging out with me in my kitchen today. Hope that you got some baking inspiration from this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment down below on some of your favorite baking items, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!